Yes, heroes win the flip. It's a moral victory at least. So this opening hand might be really good. We have preordained to dig us to land so that we can cast Day of Judgment if he's a creature deck. And if he's not a creature deck, at least we have Negate. Might have been a little hard to see there. I actually pushed Jace the Mind Sculptor and Mana Leak to get to that Seachrome Coast. But I'm happy to get to the Seachrome Coast. We top deck another Preordain, and it's going to reveal 2 lands. We're going to keep the island and push the Scalding Tarn. So it's kind of like we won the lottery. He plays 2 Birds of Paradise on his turn. So there's like a total of 3 creatures and no power. And because it's just that kind of a day, we rip a Jace the Mind Sculptor even though we just put 1 on the bottom. Now he adds a wall to his side of the table. I'm a little bit wary of casting Day of Judgment here. I mean, I'm going to do it, but I'm a little bit scared because he has Birds of Paradise, which obviously can tap for blue. Nobody would play mono green Birds of Paradise. Doesn't make any sense. But luckily, there's no Mana Leak. One of his birds does, make a last gasp and take out one of our lands with Tectonic Edge, but we'll live. He misses his land drop, so our path is pretty clear. We're going to drop Jace the Mind Sculptor and then just use it to Fate Seal away all of his lands. Show Verdant Catacombs. We're not going to let him have Verdant Catacombs. He draws land anyway. Speaking of drawing land anyway, he shows a Primeval Titan. He can have that one. But he sees that we gave him a 6-drop. I think he's had enough concession. So over the course of the match, my opponent, Ryan, actually told me that he was Genesis Wave deck, but I didn't know that while I was sideboarding. It just seemed like Day of Judgment would be awesome and Flash Freeze would be awesome. Speaking of Day of Judgment being awesome, how about that opening hand? 2 Day of Judgment, 3 lands, and a Mana Leak for some additional defense. He opens up on birds again, so I'm thinking Day of Judgment's going to be awesome. So here he plays a Halimar Depths, and I'm like, what? It turns out he's playing a 3-color Genesis Wave deck, and the 3rd color being black is the reason why he's playing Birds of Paradise instead of Draga Tree Speaker, which is obviously much more explosive. There's that black, there's a Swamp, and there's a Jace the Mind Sculptor, and we will have none of that Mana Leak, please. Ooh, we draw Jace the Mind Sculptor, that's awesome. I played the Glacial Fortress, it was probably an error. I probably should have played the Plains, but I kind of didn't realize the Glacial Fortress was going to come into play tapped. Not like we can play anything, but it's still probably wrong. Speaking of wrong, what do you think about casting Day of Judgment here rather than Jace the Mind Sculptor? I wasn't sure which one was right, but I was sure that I didn't want him to cast Primeval Titan the next turn. So what happens is I'm tapped out, and he can resolve Memoricide, and he takes Jace the Mind Sculptor, so I'm not going to have the option of casting it or not in the future of this game. That's okay. We're going to untap and then play a land and tap out for Gideon Jura. And we're going to use Gideon's plus ability, but there's no creatures to affect. We're just powering him up a little bit. So here comes an interesting sequence. He plays an Overgrown Battlement. Now, obviously, I don't want him to have extra mana from an Overgrown Battlement. I play a Frost Titan, which resolves. I'm going to tap down the Overgrown Battlement. We have a choice here. I can actually kill the Overgrown Battlement with Gideon, but I notice that he has 18 life. If I instead just attack with Gideon, which put him to 12, if I activate Gideon to be a 6/6 again next turn, along with my Frost Titan, that'll be lethal. So attack I do, and I put him to 12. He's got another Halimar Depths, but no big play afterwards. And I'm going to untap. On my turn, I'm going to go for it. We're going to activate Gideon as a 6/6 creature again. Swing in. He has no blocker because of Frostbite in the previous turn. And is there a Doomblade? Doomblade? No Doomblade. That's it. So I hope you like these videos starring Kurt Spiess's Blue-White Proliferate deck. I played it a couple times, and I don't think I've lost yet. It seems like a pretty good deck. What I was most impressed with was Luminarch Ascension as the main deck threat. When you have a Contagion class, Luminarch Ascension can power up even when you're getting attacked. Just one more thing to think about as you prepare for standard tournaments. This has been Michael J. Flores. Thanks for watching.